Hey, it's Stephanie Pruitt. It is day 15 of 30 by 30 by 30. I am in one of my favorite stairwells at the Frisk Center, and today I drafted a poem in relation to David Hammons, Esquire, or John Henry. David Hammons was born in Springfield, Illinois in 1943. He currently lives and works in New York. Esquire, or John Henry, was created in 1990 of steel, rock, hair, and tin. Esquire is referencing the mythic kind of hero John Henry, very strong, known as a very strong, physically strong-bodied man who, after slavery, worked on the railroads, and all of these just kind of mythic stories of what he could accomplish and do with his life. So let me read the draft. The draft right now is called Hero Shaping. Hero Shaping. Did you hear the one about old man Henry? John. The one about the man so strong, so big, so exceptional, he battled a 2-ton steam engine, or a whole passenger train, or maybe he laid a mountain of steel pipe single-handedly in less than a day. Well, no matter the details, he was strong. I mean, strong man strong. He had muscle where most men have hair, stronger in the first joint of his pinky toe than two of any of y'all put together. Can't a thing keep him down strong. I mean, not a fire-powered locomotive, not a load of bricks, not a life slaving. No. That's a strong man. Huh? What's that you say? Where is he now? Well, I guess he died. How? Well, he laid on down. I mean, it's what you expect of most colored men. He got tired, exhausted even. But that was just in his mind. That body could go. All right, so hero shaping. Part of what I was thinking about and really interested in, David Hammons used hair. So it's a sculpture, it's a steel railroad tie, and on top of that there's a rock, and on the top of the rock it's covered in human hair, and presumably the hair was gathered from barber shops. So I was thinking about barbershops and these communal spaces where people gather, for a functional thing, getting a haircut. But they also become kind of these myth-making studios or places where stories are told and passed down. It's the communal connection, but also, the storytelling line that continues and grows. And I think of like images or the movie Coming to America and how the barbershop was this kind of crucial place in the community where stories were told and people got information. And I think we do see these cultural, I'm sure there's a great word, like the sociologists or cultural studies people have a name for these cultural hot spots. But whether they're restaurants or barbershops, beauty salons, a lot of times I think the vestibule or the lobby of churches, or where a lot of the information is shared, with these kind of cultural myth-making spots. And not necessarily myth as in untruths, but stories, narratives, heroes are shaped often in these places. And so the voice of the poem was definitely that strong kind of braggadocious voice, interested more in the image of the hero than maybe the reality of their lives, and seeing how important it is to have these kind of icons created and crafted for us. But I'll tell you, another thing that's kind of getting to me is I sat on the steps that are kind of right outside of the exhibit. I had a straight shot into the gallery in the Esquire piece. So I was sitting there working, and a couple of people passed by and glanced at the sculpture and said, "Oh, I could have done that." And before I even knew it, my mouth opened and said, "Oh, well, you should have. You really should have. I never imagined that we could have too much art. It would be wonderful if you would make things like that." And they just looked at me like, who is this woman all in our Kool-Aid? Well, it was me. And the reason is because if I were to create a list of probably the top 10 most annoying things that people say about art and artists, and this is visual art, literary art, performing art, all of that, at the top of the list would be, oh, I could have done that. And okay, let me be honest and realistic. I get a lot of times what they're saying is, in terms of the materials and the construction, it looks as though something that's accessible, that they could have sourced those materials and put them together in that way. Maybe or maybe not, because my guess is the sculpture that we're talking about today is so securely, bound and put together, and these are heavy materials, they probably didn't even see how, the joints are handled and how it's actually put together. But even if technically this person does have hair somewhere and rocks and steel, they haven't done it. And the reason they haven't isn't because their hands aren't capable, but mentally, emotionally, in terms of the observations they make and the connections they make between materials and ideas, they weren't able to see the significance in possibly representing this hero of a person through a rock, a steel tie, and human hair. So sure, physically they could have put it together, but mentally and in terms of their innovation muscle, they hadn't done that for a reason. And it's because artists are practiced, if not trained, in the process of creatively taking, disparate seeming materials and pulling them together in shaping ideas and images. And what looks like a simple thing, maybe physically and in terms of the construction, represents a great deal of thought and reflection and planning that not everybody does do. So even if you think you can, ask yourself, why haven't you? Why haven't you seen the significance in doing it? Why haven't you reflected on the meaning of what's being represented? And this isn't meant to be some stinging, biting type of condemnation of people who are not artists. If everybody thought that way, I don't think our world would be as efficiently put together. Not that efficiency is so important, because there'd be so many other things that would be so amazing and fantastic if people were all thinking as artists. But then again, anyway, I won't go down that road. But my point is, even if you can do something physically, maybe your mind doesn't work in that way. Maybe your mind doesn't connect the dots that the artist has connected. And that's okay, boo-boo. It's okay. But what you don't want to do, and what feels really rude and disrespectful, is when you disregard the dots and the ideas and the images that the artist has connected. That's not necessary. So, but then again, I will also say that there are times when I look at something and, let's actually remix this. Let's think about it this way. Here's another phrase you can use. Instead of saying, I can do that, or I could have done that, maybe use it as inspiration and say, wow, I'm inspired to make something by this. I mean, it's a different phrase, but I think that would feel more like a way of honoring creativity versus demeaning something that's been made that you didn't make. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, I'm going to get off my soapbox. That was a bit of a rant. It is day 15. It's the 10th. Tomorrow will be the 11th. You'll see the 11 sticker. And I hope you go make something. Make an idea. Make an experience. Make something with your hands. Make. Making is good. Alrighty. See you later. Bye.